Mac and I talk politics offline. We try not to fill, obviously, the airwaves with it because it's such a divisive issue. People can guess what our political leanings are. Should be obvious.
I mean, look at me.
But the thing about it is that there is no salvation in politics. We've gotten the leadership we deserve at every level.
Yep.
Some of the people that are the biggest, anti-Democrat, hate big government, whatever, are just as much financing their life in debt as the government they criticize is. There's a hypocrisy there.
Oh.
The point being is that it's not a political solution here. It's an education solution, not from institutions, but kind of like Morpheus in the Matrix, where we're just kind of, moving through the sewers in our submarine, pulling people from.
But we're not purposely navigating it. We're just gonna do what we keep doing.
Yeah.
Putting out good, clean, wholesome, genuine content.
Right.
It's not like it's a point that we have to navigate to. It's just that's what we're doing. Let's drive more of the focus in that direction.
Right. So, but recognizing that much the same as Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers saw during his time, he realized these kids needed answers.
Yeah.
They needed someone to help dispel the confusion, something to help calm their fears. And so the pace and everything that he did was completely devoted to helping these kids. Now, in our case, and with what Mac's going to do, it's not so much that. It's a little bit different because Mac doesn't have, Channel 13. He's just got to put it out there and hope that it makes its way. But like you said, there are parents who are writing in and sharing with you what their kids are producing to mimic the Basic Dude Stuff video. So it is just in the way that you've done it now, which is not high tech.
Nope. And I'm just gonna stick with that format. I don't need to get fancy with it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stick with it because it's working right now. It's working, and it's having a positive effect on kids.
Right.
It's having a positive. And one of the things, I forget how it was said in that "Won't You Be My Neighbor" documentary, but I know I still have a lot of this. I still own a lot of this. I've never forgot what it means to be a kid.
Yeah.
I could still remember my childhood. I still have a lot of 5-year-old kid in me.
For sure.
So I've never forgotten. A lot of us, as we get older, we get a little grumbly, bumbly, and we lose our youth.
Yeah.
I'm not talking youth, 25-year-old, but we've lost our youth as far as innocence goes, as far as creativity, imagination, daydreaming, curiosity, all that stuff. Like you saw me today filming that a cicada show. I look through the lens of a 5-year-old child when I'm doing something like that.
Yeah.
That's what instead of lenses that are shit covered, which a lot of people do now. Sure. I'm still looking through the lens of a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Because I spend a lot of time with you, I see a lot of that emphasis, in your life. Not too long ago, we were at the pub sitting outside, and there was a little girl who came up that you and Rebecca have interacted with a great deal. And, Rebecca will let her just, draw on her skin, give her more tattoos and all that sort of thing. And
do little drawing lessons right there at the table.
And she was talking to you about the trip she had just been on to, like Yellowstone Park or something like that. But what did the parents say about?
18 hours in the car, no electronics.
No electronics.
I was like, damn, good for you. I said, what'd she do? Well, she had puzzles, she had coloring books, she had drawing pads, she had all this stuff, and she was completely entertained. And they did license plates.
Yeah.
Remember? I mean, we all did that.
Sure.
You look at terrain, you're pointing stuff out in the car. Yeah. You're interacting with one another while you travel, man. And kids nowadays, they will drive across town, and it seems like every vehicle I see, every SUV has a TV right in the kid's face.
Right.
And cars are built with them. They're all built with them. All SUVs and minivans are all built with the, behind the seat TV. So the kids don't have to look out the window. They don't have to be curious.
Right.
Just let me look right at that screen.
And so, I got to chat a little bit with her and watch her mainly interact. She was very, very comfortable with adults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she was asking questions. She was answering questions.
She's young. She's what, 3? That
yeah.
kid? Something like that?
She was articulate.
Yep.
So you could see the net effect of just the very simple way they were raising. She was unafraid of being. Her family was across the patio.
Yep.
She was completely away from. I mean, they know you guys, and so they knew where she was.
It was a good group right there. One of the things that I appreciated about not just us, but the people who were in that group is we're not condescending. We're not demeaning. We don't need to bring her down a notch. We don't say shit like that's a doggy, or a fishy or a horsey.
There was no baby talk.
No, man.
No baby talk.
I don't get that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in groups of people and they say that's a doggy. I say, actually, that's a dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a dog.
There's no word doggy.
Yeah, you don't.
I mean, unless you're talking doggy style. It's not a doggy. It's not a fishy.
No. No, birdie.
Yep. Yep. I don't have to talk with a high voice. I talk to her like she's little girl. Talk to her like she's a freaking human being.
Yeah.
Because that's what she is. She's a little person.
And they do recognize that they're being treated that way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it helps them to bring things up to, the next level. And so this kid's going to grow. And that's great hope. And so what we want to do, it's not just going out there and trying to reach a bunch of people who we know are already resistant. Mm-hmm. It's these kind of people who are already doing their best to do right and saying, let's help give them even more resources so that we can strengthen the base. We just need to kind of shore things up and circle the wagons a little bit so that we can strengthen where things are because
so we're not stirring the pot.
No, this is not about being controversial. Leave that to the social media people who want to do that and go to the protest and put cameras in front of anti-this protesters or what have you. No, this is about strengthening the base, giving the people who are already doing the right things and want to do more. One of the things I learned a long time ago in my own media stuff was that the reason why people subscribe to magazines oftentimes, it's not because they learn something new, right, in every issue of the magazine. Your dad got Car and Driver for 15 years. He got Guns and Ammo for 15 years, whatever. It's not that he learned something new in each issue of the magazine. It's that the magazine reinforces his values.
Right.
I mean, it reinforces his beliefs, his loves, his interests, and all this sort of thing. And that's why people subscribe to something. Following you on Instagram or YouTube, because it's reinforcing something sure, it's inspiring, it's motivating. You're going to get some tips on what to do in your driveway gym or what have you. But more than anything, they love the idea behind you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's something that I think is really important. Something my son Joe is over here off camera. He and I talk a lot about when it comes to you is what's the big idea? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because without it, we said this a little while ago while we were filming outside. What you see these big social media influencers and the pressure they're under.
Yeah, right.
They're on the hamster wheel.
To stay relevant.
To stay relevant, you got to keep putting stuff out. So you got to get crazier and crazier and crazier to entertain, to get vanity metrics, to monetize it so that you can have a career. Mm-hmm. But that's what we meant earlier about this being mission driven.
Yep.
Is that no, this is more than just being on the hamster wheel of content creation. It's intentional to empower and equip others to advance this cause, man.
I'm all about it. I'm excited.